Hey, come on in. Welcome, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Let me prop up my computer. There we go. All right. Hey. It is Taco Tuesday for some people. Come on in. Let me share this out. And while we're doing that, why don't you let me know who you are and where you're joining from? I would love to hear that. So let us know in the comments who you are. Hey, Belinda, where you're joining from. Let us know. I always like to know where you guys are joining from. And let me know what you're offering to the government or in your business in general, because today we are going to be talking about pricing. So I always like to use you guys as examples. That way you can better relate to the content that we're sharing here. So let me know, okay? Who you are, where you're joining from, and what product or service you offer. Let's see. Okay, Belinda's from New Jersey. You guys are starting to open up, aren't you? And Belinda has a janitorial company. Awesome. Marcellus, if I'm not pronouncing that right, let me know. Seattle, Washington, welcome. So what are you offering in your business? Let us know. So we have one person that's doing janitorial. Awesome. Who else do we have? What are you offering? Let us know. Inquiry minds want to know. Let's see. Who else do we have? Yes, Belinda, perfect timing. Oh, good. So Marcellus is doing HR services. Hey, Keith. Keith is in our Contractors Edge Bootcamp. Welcome. Keith, why don't you go ahead and let us know where you're joining from and share with everyone what product or service you offer, because they don't know. I know, but they don't know. So let everybody know what you do. Anyone else that's just joining, welcome. Come on in. Let us know who you are, where you're joining from, and what product or service you sell. And I want to know because we're talking about getting your pricing, how to price out your projects. And so I just like to sometimes, use you guys as an example, because, it makes sense and you can better relate to it. So tell us who you are, where you're joining from. Who you are, where you're joining from, and what product or service you offer. All right. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. You guys can definitely go ahead and pop that in as you're joining. Go ahead and let us know who you are, where you're joining from, what you offer to the government. And then we're going to jump into our topic today, which is getting pricing, which I'm asked this question quite often. How do I price out my opportunities? And the first thing I always say, if you don't know how to price out your projects, you have a problem. How can you assure, one, that you're going to make money off the project, two, that you're going to have enough money to even complete the project? So pricing is very, very important. Now, in my Contractors Edge Bootcamp, of course, the thing is to get your first bid done. And so we focus on bidding, right? Being able to put together a bid or a proposal, but do understand within that, you have to provide pricing. Okay, a lot of times opportunities where you're having to bid or submit a proposal, they're looking at one or two things. It's either going to be awarded based on price or best value. But even in best value, it still correlates with the price as well. Okay, it's just not strictly based on the price. So that's why I thought today would be really, really great to talk about pricing. So definitely, if you have any questions, go ahead, jot your questions down. So when we open it up for Q&A, you can get your questions answered. So come on in. We have Tracy here. from Charlotte, North Carolina. Welcome. And okay, so Tracy has a cleaning company and property preservation company. I think I talked to you before. That sounds real familiar. Cobalt, you are new here. I haven't heard of that. Dallas, what is that? Wherever you are in Dallas. Wait a minute. Are you in Dallas? Maybe you type something different. I don't know. You can tell us where you are. I'm in the DFW area too, so I'm curious. But Cobalt does data analysis, reporting, digital marketing, and web development. Awesome. So welcome. Tracy wants to bid on a proposal for cleaning supplies. Okay, that's cool. Keith does cleaning supplies, PPE, housekeeping services. He's in Jacksonville, Florida. Awesome. I hear you guys are getting some nice stimulus down there in Jacksonville. That's cool. Hey, Joe. Joe is new here, Amarillo, Texas. I don't remember you. Welcome. So you are establishing PPE manufacturing company. Oh, that's awesome. That is really awesome. Oh, so Cobalt, you are in Fort Worth in Dallas. Okay, cool. So you're in the DFW area, just as I am. Cool. How cool is that? I love to see people here local. A lot of times I don't see people local here that often. But I mean, I service all over the US, but I always like to see local people. So that's cool. So definitely, for those of you guys that don't know who I am, this is your first time here. I don't like to take for granted that you know who I am. So I'm Felicia Streeter, and I work with small businesses, contracting companies, and I help them, in a nutshell, learn how to bid opportunities with the federal government and win government contracts. Okay. So that's pretty much what we do here and talk about on this channel. We do lives every Tuesday, unless it's a holiday, same time, same channel. So we always have a different topic. One thing I think that may make me different than other people, I always open it up for Q&A. Anytime I do a live setting, I always open it up for Q&A. And I guess I just do that because I do appreciate you guys taking time out of your schedule to come listen to me. And I do know that people have questions. So I always like to open it up for Q&A, time permitted, and I'll go over sometimes just to answer questions, like a lot. But you don't have to stick around after the training, but I do try to answer as many questions as I can. So definitely know that. So I do thank you guys for taking time out of your schedule to be here today. And if this is your first time and you have not already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and do that. Turn on the notification bell. And then when I go live, you'll be notified. When I drop new videos every Thursday, you'll be notified. And if you like the content that I'm sharing, make sure to hit the like button because that helps this get out to other people as well. And here's one thing I want to encourage you guys, because we're going to talk about this in the content in a moment, like with our colleagues and things like that. And I don't want you guys to think competition. So I specifically labeled one of the things I'm going to cover as I did, because I didn't want to say competition because most people think competition, but I don't want you guys to think competition. I like to think colleagues, partners, that kind of thing. And so that's why I want to encourage you guys, make sure you like the videos when you watch them so that more people can see them. It's not even just about the content here, but think about this. You're here, you're sharing what you do. Now, in my boot camps, this happens more just because of the nature of the setting, but you never know where you might find someone to collaborate with, or somebody go back and watch this live later and they saw it because, YouTube put it out there because it was liked by so many people. And then someone's like, oh, Tracy does cleaning, she's doing cleaning supplies and she has a cleaning business and she's in, North Carolina, and I'm bidding an opportunity out there. Maybe I can partner with her and she could do the work there locally. So you guys have to think outside the box and always be thinking and be open to opportunities. So when you're, sharing this video or any of my other videos and you've commented down in the comments and things like that, people get to see that. So that's why I always say every week, I'm like, tell us who you are, where you're joining from, and what product or service or whatever it is that you're offering so that other people can see that. Like, this is free advertisement for you guys. And I get a lot of views every month on my videos. So That's why I ask you guys to just be open. You know, you don't have to share all of your business, but I mean, this business, you know, the questions I'm asking, you should be sharing all over the place anyway. Okay. So exposure is good. Okay. So I just want to let you guys know that. So, hey, we have KD Goodman from Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome, welcome. Awesome. All right. So we're going to dive in. I just wanted to give you that spiel just so that you guys know. So make sure, you know, you subscribe, you like, do all the due diligence. So let's get into getting pricing. So again, I get asked all the time by people how to price out their projects. I'll get emails from people. They DM me on the various social media sites. I'm not even working with them, okay? But they'll send me an email or DM me and say, hey, I have this opportunity, blah, blah, blah. You know, can you help me with the pricing? And so I feel that is really, really needed. So that's why the topic is here today. And the topics come from you guys. So understand that. And instead of having to always ask someone how to price something out, I want to tell you guys how you can do it on your own today. So is that cool? If it's cool, let me know in the comments. Say yes, you can give me a thumbs up, but let me know you're digging what I'm putting down. And yes, you do want to know about pricing. So let me know in the comments. Is this something that you guys do want to hear? Let me know. Let me turn up my volume. A lot of times I have it down low when I'm not, you know, doing videos. All right, so let's dive into some strategies that you can use to start figuring out how to price your own projects and opportunities if you're just getting started and you don't know a baseline number to start with, okay? So one of the great, oh, I hit the wrong thing. One of the great ways to do that is to look at past awarded projects, okay? Now, where do you find these opportunities? Depending on who your focus is, and that's why it's always important to know who's your customer, because it'll make it a whole lot easier for you to find these past awarded contracts. Now, one site I like to use for this is it's called right now, what is it? beta.sam.gov. Okay. So that's one opportunity I like to use. So it's beta.sam.gov. Okay. So that's one site I like to use for going to find past awarded contracts. Now it's a little bit different than FBO was. So it's not, to me, maybe I'm going to say not as user friendly, but I don't think it gives you all of the great information that FBO did. Now it's still in beta. And so, of course, it probably, you know, it will evolve, but just know that they're making changes. But you can definitely go there and find past awards. Okay. Now, when you're looking for the past awarded contract, you also need the initial solicitation, bid opportunity, whatever it's called, you need that as well. So whether you're looking federal government, state government, city, local government, commercial, private, whatever sector, corporate you're in, you need both. You need the initial solicitation, and then you need the award information as well. And here's the reason why. Because if you just get the awarded contract, it's going to tell you the price that it was awarded for, and you do need that information, but you need a little bit more information in order to break it down and backdoor your way into how they priced out the opportunity. So when you have the solicitation as well, now in the solicitation, if you've looked at one before, you know it always has the scope of work. And when I say scope of work, I mean it tells you what they want. So you need to know what they want, right? What are they asking for? And then how much did they award the contract for? So you need both of those things. Now, once you have both of those things, you still have to do some work here, okay? And that's why it's important when you guys are saying, I want to do this, I want to do that, whatever it is, you need to know your business, okay? And if you don't, then you need to get up under someone that can teach you it. But you can't go into it thinking, I'm going to do construction. Like people pick construction all the time. A lot of people, because they know the amount of money you can make in construction, and it is nice. Okay. But if you can't do construction, how will you really benefit from that? How will you know how to price it? Even if you have somebody price it for you, how do you know if it's right? And then when you get down to doing the work, how do you know if they did it right, or did they take shortcuts? Did they leave things out if you don't have enough knowledge about it? So I always tell people, you pick something that you know how to do and that you have some type of knowledge about. And that's why I say, if you can't price out your projects, then you have a problem. Okay, there's a huge problem. And especially after what we cover here today, because I'm going to show you how to backdoor your way into bidding your opportunities. But again, you need to know your industry. Okay, so you have your solicitation, you have the awarded contract. Within the solicitation, you're going to pull out the scope of work, right? Now, once you have that, you're going to have to go through the scope of work and actually break down what they're asking for, and do it as if you were actually going to bid that opportunity. Okay. So you're going to break it out line item by line item. Don't bulk it together, because you need to see it to learn how to price everything and make sure you're not leaving anything out. So you want to do it in that way. So that's one great way to get your pricing together and start learning how to price out your opportunities. Okay. Now, the second way is with your vendors. Okay. So maybe a part of your pricing will entail you need supplies. Like we had a few people on here that said they were doing janitorial, cleaning, where they're providing products. So they're going to need supplies, right? They're going to need product. And if they're not a manufacturer, which one person did say they're going to manufacture, Joe said he's going to manufacture his own PPEs. But if you're not manufacturing it yourself, then you have to get the product. So how much does that cost? Well, how do you find out how much PPE costs, or how much mops are going to cost, buckets, cleaning rags, Murphy oil soap, if that's what you use to clean the floors? I don't know. But how do you know how to price these things out and cost it? Go to the vendors. And I always like to get multiple vendors and get their pricing, because what if somebody's on back order? And you know, what we're dealing with here today, maybe where you usually get it from, they're shut down right now. And so I think with what we're having happen here in the world today also helps us in our business, and for us to understand that we don't want to depend on one source, especially when it comes to pricing and making sure we can deliver on our promises in our business. So I never like to depend on one number. So always get multiple numbers. Okay. So again, it could be for supplies. Maybe you need some materials. Maybe you need equipment that you have to rent. So then you need to get with some rental companies and see what the cost is going to be. Don't forget, probably with rental equipment, you may have to put down a big deposit depending on how big the piece of equipment is, in addition to the cost. And of course, the deposit, once you bring it back, not broke, blah, 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 they'll give you that part back. However, you still have to front that money. So you want to make sure you include all of your cost. Okay. We had a few people in here that's doing services. So Marcellus is doing HR. I saw somebody else, Cobalt here in Dallas, is doing data analysis, reporting, digital marketing, and web development. So those are services, right? So for you guys, you know, cost could be from a vendor that you need a particular type of software to deliver on what the government or your customer is asking for. So that means you need to know how much is that going to cost per month. Or is it a one-time cost? But whatever the cost is, however it lays out, you need to know what that cost is, right? And so you'll want to get that. web development, you maybe you're going to do hosting as well. So, hosting is usually a monthly fee. How much is that going to cost you? So you need to be aware of those things. And then with the digital marketing, there's probably app software, things like that you're going to have to use on behalf of your customer. And I would gather that you should be charging them for that, not you paying for it. Okay. So you want to make sure you include all of your costs. Now, here's a great thing that you guys can start doing, like today. With your vendors, you can just start reaching out and checking pricing. Right. And this is something I would probably look at with the changing market right now, maybe every 30 days, where you would have a baseline of what that will look like. Like you'll always know that PPE is going for $2 a box. And I'm just throwing numbers out here. I'm not talking real deal, but whatever the number is, you would know. Right. If you're doing HR services per person in your particular area of expertise where you do it, most people in HR, they do, PMs or accountant, whatever you're doing, admin people, per person, it's about $45 per person an hour, whatever that number is. You want to be abreast of that. Okay. So those are things that you can always be working on in your business. Now, the third way to get pricing is to look at your industry colleagues. Remember, I said I was not going to say competition because I don't believe we really have competition. It's just that we've been taught to compete. But if you look at government contracting by itself, there's enough to go around. And in my boot camp, I do teach how people self-select and deselect themselves, meaning they will eliminate themselves from opportunities for a variety of reasons. So although you may see 5 companies that can do the same thing as you, but when you start looking at capacity and other things, it may be only you or one other company that's able to do that one right now. Okay, so get away from competition and think colleagues, partners. Okay, think that way, and you'll open yourself up to a whole lot more and more opportunities. So when you look at your industry colleagues, okay, remember, we're trying to gather numbers so we know how to price out opportunities and what's the going rate for various things that we do. So when you look at your colleagues, you can look at their rates for their services, right? And here's the thing. So when you're looking at them for their rates on their services, a lot of times you can just call and ask. Sometimes they'll have information on their websites. You can find it out that way. But if you're looking to partner with them at some point in time, you're going to need to know what they charge, right? So that's another way you can find out their pricing. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you with your colleagues and what I want you to understand. When you look at the rate that they give you, understand that they already have their markup in there. Okay. So you're going to have to account for that. But do know that they're not doing it at a break-even price. Understand that they have their markup in there. So the other thing that you're going to learn as you go through this, you start looking at solicitations, awarded contracts, going through the scope, pricing it out for yourself, seeing those numbers, you'll begin to see what the average markup, right, profit margin is for your industry. So you need to also be looking for that number because you need to know that. Why? Because you do want to make a profit off of every opportunity, right? And I'm shaking my head. Yes. And you should be doing the same thing. You're in business to make money. So you want to make sure not only that you price it out, but you also put in your markup. That is how businesses grow, through profits. Okay. Because whatever it costs you to do the project, right, that's going to get you to break even. So you still need that profit margin in there so you can grow. Okay. Other than that, you're really just making money to pay yourself for doing something, and there's nothing extra. Okay. All right. So let me give you an example of another way you may learn how to price out projects. So if you've been in my world for a while in the community, you've heard me mention Tamara at various intervals. And she's on the website under success stories, and probably on the bootcamp page, maybe in other pages where I share a little bit about her story as it relates to what we're talking about. So here's how Tamara got started. So Tamara started out, and I had somebody reach out to me today. I don't think they're on here, but I wish they were. But anyway, they reached out, and so they're just getting started, and they said, I need past performance, right? We know moving into government contracting, especially at the federal level, they want to see past performance. Well, how do you get it, right? Ideally, you're going to start as a subcontractor, okay? So anyway, let's get to Tamara's story. I was laying the foundation for you. So Tamara started out in commercial, and she did that because, one, she needed some past performance, okay? And she also wanted some cash flow. And we can always get the cash flow, in most cases, faster, in general, going commercial. Now, depending on what you have and bring to the table, you know, we can still do it on the federal level too, but, you know, that's a case-by-case basis. But just with what she brought to the table, commercial worked well. And she had been out, and I mean, the opportunities were there. So it's like, okay, let's get this money. And so what she did is, she networked locally, right? Opportunities came up just because she was out networking, saying, hey, here's what I do. And then they come back, or they call her later, and she's great at following up, okay? And they say, hey, I have this opportunity. Can you do this project at $25,000, whatever the number is? So they're saying, here's this opportunity. We've budgeted $25,000 for this. Can you do it for this? And then you have the opportunity, one, to say yes or no. But let me tell you what it tells you when you're able to get the number they're going to offer you, and then also get the scope of work. Now, here's another opportunity for you to break down the scope, break down the pricing, right? And see how they priced it out. Because let me tell you, it's the raw number. And the reason why is, although they may have put markup on that project, and they're not going to give it to you. That's their markup. Understand that. But it's a great way to still figure out pricing. It's a really great way. And the reason is, again, they have been awarded a contract because they had to bid that portion themselves. Okay, so they bidded it out. They know the numbers. And that's why they're coming to you saying, hey, here's this opportunity. We've allocated $25,000 for this. Can you do it for this number? And so you don't just say yes right off the bat. You need to break it down and make sure it makes sense for you. Okay? So make sure you don't just skip that step and say yes, and then realize you're not making any money off of that project. Okay? So that's another great way to backdoor your way into pricing. Okay. Now, however you decide to do this, and, you know, start coming up with your numbers and your pricing, as you move into actually bidding opportunities yourself, or saying yes to an opportunity after you have to break it down and make sure their numbers make sense, you need to know your baseline numbers. Okay. A lot of people want to skip out on accounting, the bookkeeping part, you know, tracking your numbers and things like that. But numbers don't lie. 2 + 2 is 4 all day, every day. It doesn't change. And so those numbers are important to your business and you being successful at winning opportunities. And then also, if you win the opportunity, it's important, and it correlates with you being profitable on your opportunity. So you need to have your baseline numbers. Okay. And so there's a variety of numbers that's general across the board that you should be including into your pricing. And then you'll have the section that is specific to your type of business. So Belinda, I think you're doing janitorial. So you'll have your general business numbers that you're going to include, but then you'll have numbers, specific to janitorial. And then Marcellus, you'll have the numbers specific to HR, being able to deliver on that. Cobalt, same thing with your data analysis, reporting, digital marketing, and web development. Tracy, you said you want to get into cleaning supplies. So same thing, you still have to have your other numbers included in that. And Keith, same thing with your cleaning supplies, PPE, and housekeeping services, okay? Joe, you're going to do manufacturing. So that's going to be a little bit different because you're going to have to get raw materials and then, change them into PPE. And so you have to include all that cost. And, if you have workers and equipment that you have to get or use, all of that has to go into your cost, okay? I'm just seeing anybody else put their stuff. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. Okay, great. So, okay. Hey, Mr. T. Hey. Thanks for joining us. So you're doing medical supply delivery. So you're going to actually deliver the supplies, get them from the manufacturer, and you're just going to do delivery like trucking and transportation. I'm gathering what you're saying, maybe. And so even for you, what is the cost of the truck, right? Above and beyond the regular business expenses, what's the cost of the truck? You got gas. You may have toll roads. You have wear and tear on the vehicle. So there's cost, right, that you have to allot for as well. And then somebody driving the truck, whether it's you or somebody else, you still got to be paid for that, right? If they're doing over the road, they may have to stop at hotels and sleep. You got to include that, per diem, meals, all of that stuff. So you want to know your baseline numbers that you need to include every time you bid. And if you start there and you have it laid out, then you won't leave them out. Because I can tell you, if you start from scratch every time, you're going to forget an important number and it's going to cost you. It's going to be taken out of your profits. Like, not you get the profit and see it taken out, but when you start doing the work, you'll see your profit start to go down because you didn't include all of your costs. Okay. It's very, very important to make sure you cover all of your costs so that you're profitable on the opportunities. Okay. Now, having a bid formula is the way to go. You can use a spreadsheet, put your column with everything you want to include in your bids. And then, you can always plug in the numbers, make sure to put the formulas and calculations in so that it'll give you the final number. And that's a great way to price out your opportunities. Yes, there's software out there that you can use to bid opportunities, but they can get costly. And if you're just starting out, definitely, some type of spreadsheet is great. It'll work fine. Okay. And actually inside the Contractors Edge Bootcamp, I even share a bid formula sheet with you where all you have to do is plug in the numbers and voila, it gives you the calculations for you. All right. But anyway, make sure you know your key numbers. It's very, very important. Okay. So let's open it up for some Q&A. If you have any questions, go ahead and pop those in. And the boot camp I was talking about, I'm going to type that in for you guys as well, just so you'll have the link because I always get asked. So okay, so there it is. You can go to First Bid Done Fast. It's all about getting your first bid done, bidding, contracts, pricing, everything you need to know to get your first bid done. Okay, so you can definitely check that out. You get immediate access. Once you sign up, you just put in your information, create your password, and you have access. And then from there, you'll get started. And we have live sessions in July where we will actually work through some bids together. So you bring your bid and I help you with it. Okay. So that's happening in July, but you don't want to wait until then because you need to go out and find your opportunity to bid before then so that you can bring it to the call so I can help you. Okay. And remember, we start the live sessions, I think, start the week of July 15th. One other thing about the boot camp. So right now there's a 3-pay option, just so you guys know, and I'm transparent totally. It's all on the website when you go there, but it's $997, so $997, or you can do 3 payments of $397. The 3-pay option is going away at the end of this month. So on July 1st, if you want to join us, you'll have to do the full pay option. Okay. You get the same access and all of that. So don't worry about that. Just know that the 3-pay option will disappear at the end of the month, which is the end of June. And when we do the next session, and we don't have the dates yet, also know that it is going to increase. So the price will no longer be $997. Okay. And definitely look at the testimonials and things like that on there. People are getting awesome results. And just out of integrity, I want to share that with you guys, and know that even at the new rate, it's totally worth the investment. Because one contract more than pays for it. And what I teach you is rinse and repeat. You learn it one time, rinse and repeat. All right, let's see here. Let me go look at these questions. I saw one up here. Let me see. Okay, I think this is good. Okay. Tracy said, this is good info. All right, well, make sure you hit the like button. So if you guys are digging what I'm putting down, you enjoyed the topic today, you're still here, go ahead and hit the like button. I mean, you're here for a reason, right? So you must be digging what I'm putting down. So Tracy says, will vendors give discounts if we ask them? Let's say you already have active accounts with them. So they could. I mean, that's an individual thing to that particular vendor, right? And they could give discounts for various reasons. We do know in general, the more you buy, the less it is, right? But yeah, I mean, you have not because you ask not. So it doesn't hurt to ask, right? But you want to position it right when you do ask, not just ask for the sake of asking. But yeah, they could. Yeah. Hey, Bryant Holmes, I remember you. I'm looking forward to the upcoming. Okay, so Brian says, I'm looking forward to the upcoming trainings next month. U.S. Veterans Security. U.S. Veterans Security. So he does security services. How cool. So Brian is in the Contractors Edge Bootcamp. So yeah, make sure you're going through the content now, looking for opportunities so that you can bring a opportunity to bid to the live session so I can help you with it. Let me see. I'm going to butcher this up. Shanice. Is that right? It's not niece. I'm terrible with names, but last name is Brown. So I apologize if I said that wrong. Have you seen any insurance brokers get government contracts? So I'm going to say it like this. They definitely buy insurance services. How do we know that? Well, I used to work for the government anyway, and my husband was in the military. So anyway, but knowing that they buy insurance services, yes. Yeah. So for various reasons, yes. I would even gather that even on some of their opportunities, like say construction projects, they probably have to have some type of insurance, I would imagine, as well, in case somebody get hurt, I don't know what type of insurance services you provide, but just think health insurance. Well, they provide that to their employees, right? What other insurance is it? Workers' comp, they provide that. So yeah. Let's see, any other questions? So Mr. T says, I was thinking of renting a truck first for delivering the supplies. Nothing wrong with that. If you can't afford to buy one, yeah, you can rent one. Know what the cost is, right? Making sure you don't have to eat the total cost yourself and include some of that into your bid number, right? But nothing wrong with that. A lot of people do that. Mr. T says, I'm also looking into construction. Okay, that's great. And I did talk a little bit about everybody wants construction, but if you have a knowledge there, nothing wrong with that either. So yeah, that's viable. Okay, so Joe says, must pricing include employee wages per the U.S. Department of Labor wage and hour division pay rates? So the government call it Davis-Bacon rates. If you have to use that, they will definitely tell you in the solicitation. Like all of the information that will entail you getting to your pricing of what you want to include will be in that solicitation, except your general business costs. That's why I say you have to know what those are as well to include them. But if you say, for example, Joe, you're going to have workers do the work, and they may say, yes, you have to make sure you're paying them, really what they're saying is that you're not like paying them really, really low, but charging us really, really high. And so anytime they have where they say you have to, pay them based on the Davis-Bacon wages, a lot of times you'll have to do, what I want to say. I can't think of it, but you have to turn in your payroll. I can't think of the term right now, but you have to turn in your payroll with your invoice for payment, because they want to see that you actually paid the people what you said you paid them. And it's in correlation to what they've outlined that you pay them. All right, let's see. So Mr. T says, everyone hit the thumbs up. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I wish I could go back and see who hits the thumbs up. I like to reward people if I can. All right, Author. Hey, Author's here. So Author says, will there be a replay? I just broke free to come online. Yes. So here's the thing, you guys. These videos, when I come live, they're always on my YouTube channel. So you can go back and watch the replay multiple times, or say 2 weeks from now and you're like, okay, it's time to bid something. What did she say? You can go back and watch it. So yeah, they're always housed here on the channel. Mr. T says, how does the certification process work after you acquire a cage code? So that's the next step. So you're at the step where you need to apply for all the certifications for which you qualify. And the process is simple. You're going to fill out the paperwork, and then you'll submit the paperwork and then wait for them to send you your certification. Or if they have any questions, or if you left something out, then they'll ask for that. So always, check your emails. Everything is timely with the government. They always put a deadline. And if you miss it, you have to start over. And just so you know, Mr. T, inside the government contracting boot camp, we also have a training in there called government contracting roadmap. And in there, we talk about the certifications, applying for certifications, documents you need, and things like that, and where you can apply for the certifications as well. So that's in there as well. Tanisa. Oh, well, it's gone. Never mind. So we have Latricia's in the house. Hey, Latricia. Latricia helps me a lot on my back end, although she has her own business too. Latricia, why don't you're here late. You know the drill. She works with me and helped me on my back end. Go ahead and share with everyone who you are, what you do, that kind of thing. And if you want to go ahead and share your website, Latricia, go ahead and do that. She helps me a lot in my back end. A lot of times when we're live and there's a bunch of questions, as I said, I always open it up for Q&A. She'll help me with the questions, and she'll make sure I answer all you guys' questions. So let's go ahead and share your stuff, Latricia, whatever you want to share with everyone. If it's social media or whatever, let's give her some love today. So, hey, Eric Quick, welcome. He says, thank you. Author says, thanks. Tanisa, your question went away, so you must have hit something, because as I got ready to read it, it went away. So I don't know what your question was. It says you retracted it, so we can't see it. All right, so we have a few more questions here. I have 1, 2, 3. I'm going to answer those because I know we always go over, but that's because I like to answer your questions. All right, so Brian says, Felicia, you give us a lot just on these videos. Thanks for sharing. Well, thank you. I try to make sure it's worth your time. And with that being said, can you imagine what you get when you spend time with me, like consistently, and pay and invest? So thank you for that. So Eric Quick says, I have the Service Disabled Veteran Owned Small Business Certification. So that's what SDVOSB means. He says, proposal writing is jamming me up. Well, let me just tell you, Eric, do you know in module 3 of the Contractors Edge Bootcamp, we do focus on proposal writing. And I have you take your solicitation. I teach you how to break down a solicitation, pull out the requirements, in turn, take that information that they're asking for, plus some other things I know you need to put in your proposal, and then create your proposal. Not only do I do that, I also share with you guys in the boot camp my proposal that I use. So you get to see my proposal that I use to win multi-million-dollar contracts. I share that with you guys as well. So you have a template. You don't have to start from scratch. And we cover it in the boot camp during the live sessions as well. So you get the training, you get my sample, and we cover it during the live sessions too. So Eric, I would definitely encourage you to check out the boot camp and, you know, consider joining us there so that you can learn how to write your proposals. And I'm trying to type the link again. Get down fast as I talk. So there you go. I put it up again for you, Eric. Okay, Joe says, Felicia, you're a lighthouse in the fog. Well, thank you. Thank you for your help and guidance. You are welcome. So everybody's saying thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, awesome. All right. Great. Well, I appreciate you guys hanging out. And again, if you need help getting your first bid done, anything along that process that you're missing, there's a gap, there's a missing piece, you don't know what it is, come join us inside the boot camp. I've put the link. It's over at firstbiddonefast.com. Remember 2 things. Well, 3. 1, get started on figuring out your pricing. Don't wait until you need it. I've given you some things that you can start putting together your numbers now. I've told you how you can do it. Use a bid spreadsheet. And then if you need support, don't forget, you do have the Contractors Edge Bootcamp where we focus on bids, getting your first bid done. Whatever you're missing, we fill in the gaps. And right now, you can get in for the 3-pay option, 3 pays of $397 or a full pay $997. Remember, the 3-pay option goes away at the end of this month. And when we open it back up again, also know that there will be a rate increase. Still totally worth the value. We all know that. If you guys are bidding opportunities or if you won contracts, you know, a 1 bid more than pays for your investment in the program. And then it's rinse and repeat. So you just invest one time, you learn it, and then you use it for the duration. Okay. So definitely check that out. And I, again, appreciate you guys taking time out of your busy schedule, coming to hang with me here today. And until next time, which is next Tuesday, same time, same channel, I'll see you right back here real soon. Bye for now.